Welcome to the fastest growing radio audience in America. From the city of entertainment, you are listening to Las Vegas Backstage Talk, the only show that gets personal with the stars. Brought to you by Dr. Gary Lee from Esthetic in Henderson, Nevada. Dr. Gary Lee specializes in Botox and fillers at affordable prices and always offers free consultations. Welcome to Las Vegas Backstage Talk with your host, comic Michele LaFong.
Hey, and welcome to Las Vegas Backstage Talk. We have some great guests here tonight. We have the always opinionated Bill Maher, who is performing at the Orleans Showroom at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, May 5th and 6th at 8 p.m. And we have Mary Wilson of the Supremes playing Lena Horne in Stormy Weather. She's an enormous talent and the most down-to-earth person I've ever met, and she's been on before. She'll be performing at the Smith Center May 11th and 12th. And first, we're going to start with Bill Maher. How often do you change your stuff?
All the time. I'm working on this all the time. You have to when you deal with political stuff because it changes all the time. You know, I can't even do what I was doing, some of it, a month or two ago because Mitt Romney wasn't the nominee yet. It was all about Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum and stuff like that.
So, but you got to admit, there's a lot of comics out there who still do the old stuff, and it still works for them.
Well, that's their stuff, but that's not how I do it. My audience wants to hear what's going on now. They want a very relevant show, and that's what I'm committed to giving them.
So do you have any problems remembering, like, where you are with, because it's not easy to, write stuff constantly and have tested material?
Oh, well, that's why I always, I do it with a music stand on stage. I have my act in bullet points. This has worked for me for many, many years. It's the greatest thing because it's so good for the audience. They do not have to sit there and listen to a comic go, let's see, what else? I hate it when I'm watching a comedy show and the comic says, hey, what else? I always know what else because I wrote it down because I thought of it. I want, if they're going to watch me for 90 minutes, they're going to get 90 packed minutes. They're going to get the best I can give them.
That's great. I love that. So you take a lot of pride in your stuff, which,
I really do.
Yeah, not all comics. I think a lot of comics get in that safety zone and they're afraid to change things.
No, not me. I mean, you have to be willing to go up there and give people what they can't see anywhere else. Even on my TV show, even if they're fans of the show, and I hope they are, they can't see what they're going to see when I'm live.
So how is it different when you're live?
It's just more concentrated. It's edgier. I've an old lady once said to me, I think it was in Las Vegas after the show. She said, you know what, I thought you were bad on TV, but I saw you tonight, you're worse. She meant it as a compliment, but it came out funny.
So let me ask you this. You seem to have a very thick skin. Did you always have a very thick skin?
I think so. I was a short kid. I was made fun of. I'm from New Jersey. You get made fun of for that. I think, growing up, you kind of have to develop a thick skin if you're not one of the popular kids, and I certainly was not.
No.
So, then of course I went into a field that's just always chock full of controversy, and if you're going to say controversial things, people are going to come back at you, and so, yeah, you kind of have to have a thick skin, or at least pretend you do.
Was there a time when it really got to you?
Oh, it's gotten to me many times. I mean, after 9/11, when I was, getting thrown off of ABC, and everyone was mad at me because they thought I was, defending terrorists, which of course I wasn't. But the right wing used that as an opportunity to go after me. It did feel there for a while like, I have a newspaper headline in my office that I still hang there to this day. And it says, White House keeps heat on Maher.
Oh, wow.
So, it's something I can look back on and kind of breathe a sigh of relief about. But at the moment, yeah, it was pretty frightening.
Did you feel lonely?
Yeah. I just felt like something horrible had happened to America. They didn't know why it happened to them, because Americans are not very big on studying foreign cultures or understanding what we're doing overseas or why this might have happened. So they just had all this anger and no place to put it. and then I gave them a place to put it.
Right. So how do you feel? Like, do you feel like any empathy, like when it happens to other comedians, like Tracy
Absolutely.
Morgan?
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is why I defended Rush Limbaugh's right to stay on the air this year when he got in trouble for calling that woman a slut. And there was no doubt that what he said was vile. I mean, but come on, it's Rush Limbaugh. His business is saying things that are vile. He does it every day. And a lot of my liberal friends got mad at me for coming to his defense and saying Rush Limbaugh should not be thrown off the air. People should not be thrown off the air if they say something you don't like. That's why we love America, because you're able to say things you don't like. That's what the First Amendment is all about. Free speech, defending free speech, not the free speech that everyone agrees with, but the speech that people find to be odious. It was very strange to me that liberals were mad at me for defending Rush in this instance when an organization like the ACLU, nothing more liberal than that in America, that's what they do all day. Defend speech we don't like.
Right. Right. So I can totally understand where you're coming from. And what's interesting to me is I knew you back, well, you didn't know me, but I was just coming up in comedy, and you were an MC at Catch a Rising Star.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
regular
that's a
MC.
long time ago.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I think.
Oh, God, early 80s.
Early 80s,
Yeah.
yeah. And
because I moved out to California in 83.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so my years in New York, I started in 79, and I was, at Catch in 80, 81, 82.
Yep, and you were one of the regular MCs at Catch a Rising Star.
I certainly was.
Yeah, and I was watching you, and what was interesting is you weren't anywhere near as political as you are now. And you talked much more about your personal life and about women and the difference between men and women. What made you change your MO?
Well, I mean, I think that's every comic. In the first few years of any comic's existence, you're going to find them basically fumphering around, trying to find their voice, trying to find what is right for them. And I'll tell you something, I wanted to be more political. It's just that when you're 23 years old, it's very hard for you to do political material because the audience looks at you like, you're a kid. What could you possibly know about politics?
Right.
It's a subject that just requires a little more gravitas than you have at that tender age. But, the other thing is, Michelle, you are just really trying to survive, as you well know.
Sure.
Anything that will get a laugh, anything that will make people in the audience audibly make a sound
yes.
is good enough. And that's all I was trying to do is survive.
Exactly. I totally get that. And you didn't give in, and you wanted to keep your level of comedy up. You remind me a lot in your comedy of George Carlin. Does that surprise you?
No, I hear that from so many people, and it's always flattering to me because, first of all, I think it's true. I mean, that he is the comic who I most, I think, resemble. As a matter of fact, when George died, he had a gig booked for the one I do now, the Orleans. This is how I started with the Orleans. When he died, they called me the next day, and they said, look, you're the guy who has to do this gig.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I've been doing the Orleans ever since.
That's pretty flattering. And isn't the Orleans showroom an amazing showroom to play?
It's a fantastic showroom. It's just what I always wanted in Vegas. My only complaint is I wish I was there more. I only do it like 3 weekends a year.
Oh, well, isn't that up to you?
No. I would do it a lot more if they want me.
Well,
I don't know why. I always do well. We always sell it out, but it's Las Vegas. I guess they have a lot of different masters to serve, but it is a great showroom. It really is.
Yeah, they happen to have great acts at the Orleans, and we had Dana Carvey and Dennis Miller, and they were talking how it's their favorite place, their favorite showroom to play.
Yeah, it's a comics room. That's why.
Yes. Yes, I can imagine, and I'm going to try to catch you this weekend. In fact,
Oh, great.
Yes.
Well, you got to come back and say hi after the show.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to that.
We can reminisce about Catch a Rising Star.
Yeah, right? I got more to reminisce with you about. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of things. But you didn't know me. And I would, like I said, I just would come and watch your show and be like, wow, and...
Well, at this age in my life, I don't even remember the people I did know.
Yeah, I understand that. I totally do.
Somehow I got to be 56 years old. I don't know how it happened.
Really? I didn't know you were that old.
Yeah, well, come on. If we're talking about 1981, come on, do the math.
Yeah, you're right. I'm in denial.
10.
I'm in denial, Bill. I still think I'm 30, and
Exactly.
I know it's terrible. We see ourselves that way. So let me ask you, what comes to mind as the worst experience on stage or television that you ever had, like live?
That's funny you should mention that, because I was having drinks last night with someone from Stevie Van Zandt from.
Oh yeah.
From Bruce Springsteen's band, and we were talking about musicians, and Niels Lofgren, who plays with Bruce, his name came up, and I opened for Niels Lofgren in 1981 in Baltimore, and as any comic will tell you, opening for a rock group of any kind
not a good idea.
Is just horrible. I mean, you're just a time filler while people find their seats. And it was the one gig I remember, and it was $150, which was really big money in those days, so
right.
I was very happy to get it. But it was just the most humiliating experience. I mean, they just, from the moment I walked on stage, they just screamed at me, just horrible things, and, I don't remember if they actually threw stuff, but it was truly just a sacrificial lamb fed to the lion.
Did you do your time?
Yeah, I did my time. I just whatever, just recited my material, or I don't know what I did, but it was humiliating.
Wow. So are there more men in your audience, do you notice, or females?
I don't, that's a good question, but I mean, it seems to be about 50-50. I mean, I see all kinds of people. I see young people, I see old people, everybody in between. I don't know.
Huh. So how would you like to be remembered? That's right. You're dying now,
I would
Bill.
like to be remembered as the man who got Obama elected to a second term, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Really? You're worried?
Well, yeah. That's why I gave him $1 million.
Wow.
I'm very worried.
Now you got me worried.
Yeah. I mean, Mitt Romney could definitely win. I mean, especially if the economy goes bad. I mean, Mitt Romney's got all that money. They changed the law, of course, as you know, so that you can give unlimited amounts of money. All the billionaires are behind Mitt Romney. They're going to give him hundreds of millions of dollars. And people don't follow elections that closely. All they know is the economy is bad and he's a businessman. And we were not that crazy about a black president in the first place.
Well, I hope you're
Bang.
wrong.
And so...
But I don't give my opinion like you do. And I want to ask you, I hate to take a question from Piers Morgan, but because it's Bill Maher, I just feel it necessary.
Okay.
Have you ever been properly in love?
Oh, yes. Probably too many times.
Really?
You're talking about somebody who never got married, so when you never get married, you're always dating. I mean, that was my life for like so many years, decades really. I have a girlfriend now, so it's nice that I'm finally retiring that part of my life. But I did for the very longest time just waste great oceans of time chasing girls.
That is very funny.
Yeah.
What a great line. Wasting oceans of time.
Chasing girls, yep.
Yes, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Bill Maher.
Always a pleasure.
And I will definitely come see you this weekend and come say hi.
I will arrange that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, great
Bill
to talk
Maher,
to you,
May
Michelle.
5th and 6th at the Orleans Showroom. Don't miss him.
Thank you. Bye-bye.